As a little kid, I never dreamed of being Michael Jordan. I didn't think I could be 6'5" or 6'6". I more so dreamed of being Isaiah Thomas, but I used to love the mentality of Michael Jordan. I'm crazy competitive too, Greeny. I think, people saw that in me in college and the league. But one of the things I started to recognize was how lonely of a journey it is when you get to that competitive mentality and win at all costs. That comes with some other things that happen as a byproduct of that. And when you're used to achieving this level of success by working at this threshold consistently, you start to look at other people differently if they don't work the same way, or you hear them complain, you start challenging them. And yes, that mentality wins you championships, but it's very daunting because you're by yourself. You're by yourself. And I think that moment right there, the gravity of that feeling for Michael Jordan, recognizing as a fan that he was by himself, that's a huge burden to carry. And not a lot of people understand that's what comes along with the territory.
That's a fascinating one. I'd like to look a little more closely into that. When you are the person who's leading your team, which obviously in college, for a time there you were, and you were the best player in the country, and your team was among the best, if not the best teams in the country. When you've got to lead in ways that you know are going to make people upset or feel bad or whatever the case may be, you described it as lonely. I mean, do you ever worry about the relationships involved? Does it make you worry about how it's going to impact the way people view you while it's actually happening?
Well, it depends upon what perspective of relationship that you take in consideration for how you're going to be viewed, Greeny. Do you want to be viewed by many because you become very myopic about what you need to achieve? So then the relationship, the dynamic of that changes, because then all of a sudden you're saying there, looking at your teammates saying, we lifted each other. I pushed you to become a champion. Even though in that relationship, we may not be best of friends, we've achieved something that's been so great. But the relationship with the public on the pedestal they put you on, that in a way in itself is the trophy, Greeny, right? That's a trophy because you've been able to achieve that. So you look at those individual relationships, there's not as much depth with them because you are so fixated on that main goal of winning championships that you have to let those relationships lie where they must lie amongst the journey. So it is interesting because, in today's age, you see a lot more friendships, a lot more depth there. And yeah, they butt heads, but it's not the same style that you saw Michael Jordan have. And you wonder when you watch these documentaries, you watch Last Dance, you're like, how close is Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan? How close is Horace Grant and Michael Jordan? To what depths of degree is their relationship? But ultimately, Jordan got them to win championships, my man, and that's what you're in the game for.
It reminds me of the way over the many years I've been doing this, I've heard so many of you athletes talking about coaches that you had who drove you so hard, who were unrelenting and tough on you and pushed you past a point you thought you could go, that at the time, maybe you hated it and maybe you hated them. But subsequently, you come to realize how much it mattered to you and how it actually did make you the best you could be.
Well, something that I think you have to recognize the gray area that, like this guy's job or this person's job is to coach you, not to be your friend. Your teammate's job is to push you. The generational curve has changed, Greeny, in today's game because a lot of guys from AAU basketball and other things have grown up as friends to a degree. So the dynamics are different, but man, you felt the density, you felt the intensity of that last night. It was incredible.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.